Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think is going to be particularly interesting for anyone who's maybe a little bit older and
Mhm.
wondering, like, how is this whole AI thing going to impact my life? So we're going to be talking about artificial superintelligence, or ASI,
Mm.
and we've got some really interesting sources here that explore all the ways that ASI could actually make life easier and more fulfilling for seniors.
Yeah, it's funny how, we always hear about, like, the Terminator and these, like, scary AI things, blah, blah, blah. In reality, I think the potential for ASI to really help us, especially as we get older, is really huge. And I think it's something that we should be excited about, not scared of.
I totally agree with that. And one of the things that really struck me when I was reading through these sources was just how much emphasis they put on the fact that you don't have to be like a tech genius to benefit from this stuff. It's really about how ASI can adapt to us and make our lives easier, not the other way around. So before we dive into all the cool stuff that ASI can do, maybe we should just take a step back and make sure we're all on the same page here. What exactly are we talking about when we say ASI? It's not just like, Siri or Alexa, right?
Right. It's a step beyond that. I
Yeah.
mean, think about it. We've got AI, well, like in our phones and our cars that can do some pretty impressive things, but they're still limited to, specific tasks.
Yeah.
ASI is about an intelligence that can not only learn, but can actually reason, strategize,
Yeah.
and even innovate on a level that surpasses human capabilities.
Okay, so we're not just talking about doing things faster or more efficiently.
hmm
We're talking about solving entirely new problems that we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. And the applications for that are pretty much endless. But let's focus on areas that are directly relevant to our lives as we get older. Think about healthcare, for example,
Yeah, healthcare is a big one.
or finances, or even just how we stay connected with loved ones.
Or just like managing your home and everyday tasks.
Exactly. ASI has the potential to revolutionize all of that. And I think for seniors in particular, it offers some really exciting possibilities.
Okay, so let's talk about those possibilities because I'm ready to get excited about this stuff. One of the things that these sources really emphasize is that ASI is all about making life easier and more fulfilling. So give me some concrete examples. How can this technology actually help seniors in their daily lives?
Well, let's start with something simple like managing your home. Imagine smart devices that not only adjust your thermostat, but actually learn your preferences over time and create the perfect environment for you. Or if you're worried about fall sensors that can detect a fall and alert emergency services immediately.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's peace of mind right there, not just for you, but for your family as well.
Exactly. And it's not just about safety and convenience. Think about the potential for staying connected with friends and family. Video calls that feel like you're actually in the same room.
Wow.
Social media platforms that are tailored to connect you with people who share your interests, even AI companions that can engage in meaningful conversations and provide emotional support if you're feeling lonely.
That sounds amazing,
hmm
but I know a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, all sounds great, but I'm not exactly a tech whiz. How am I supposed to learn all this new stuff?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's one of the biggest misconceptions about ASI. You don't have to be a tech expert to benefit from it. A lot of these new tools are designed to be incredibly user-friendly.
So it's more about the technology adapting to us than us having to adapt to the technology.
Exactly. For example, voice assistants are becoming so intuitive you can control your entire home access information, schedule appointments, just by speaking naturally.
That's pretty cool. And for those who do want to learn more, there are tons of resources available from online courses to community workshops specifically for seniors.
Exactly. You don't have to become a programmer overnight, but with a little curiosity and a willingness to explore, you can absolutely harness the power of ASI to improve your life.
I love that message. It's about staying curious, staying engaged, and realizing that age is not a barrier to embracing new technologies. Okay, so we've talked about the home staying connected. What about finances? That's a big one for a lot of people, especially as they're thinking about retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where I think ASI can really make a difference. Imagine having an AI-powered financial advisor that not only helps you track your investments and pensions, but can actually analyze market trends, adjust your portfolio to minimize risk, and even alert you to potential scams.
So instead of trying to figure all that stuff out on your own, you've got this intelligent system working for you 24/7.
Exactly. And it's not about replacing human financial advisors. It's about giving you more control and transparency over your finances. With ASI, you're empowered to make informed decisions, ask the right questions, and ensure your financial security throughout your retirement.
That's huge. I mean, that could really take a lot of stress and anxiety out of managing your money. Okay, so we've covered the home connections, finances. What about health? That's probably top of mind for a lot of us as we get older.
Absolutely. And this is an area where I think ASI has the potential to be truly transformative.
Give me some examples.
Well, think about wearable devices that continuously monitor your vital signs and alert you to potential health issues before they even become symptoms. Or AI-powered diagnostic tools that can analyze your medical history, your genetic information, your lifestyle factors to create personalized health recommendations.
So it's not just about reacting to health problems, it's about preventing them in the first place.
Exactly. And let's not forget about access to specialists with telemedicine platforms powered by ASI. You can consult with doctors anywhere in the world, regardless of your location.
Okay, I'm starting to see the big picture here, and it's pretty exciting, but I'm also realizing that this is a huge topic, and we've only just scratched the surface. What else should we be thinking about as we explore this world of ASI?
Well, one thing that's really important to keep in mind is that, as with any powerful technology, there are potential downsides that we need to be aware of. We need to be thinking about things like data privacy, online security.
And just making sure that this technology is used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. And that's something we'll definitely be digging into more deeply in the next part of our deep dive.
Just stay tuned because we've got a lot more to discuss when we come back.
You know, one of the things that I think gets lost sometimes in all this talk about AI is the potential for it to really help us learn and grow as individuals. And I think that's especially relevant for seniors. You know, we often think of technology as being for young people, but the truth is it can be an incredible tool for lifelong learning.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because one of the things that really impressed me in these sources was all the examples of seniors who are using technology to, do things they never thought possible. Learning new languages, writing books, starting businesses. I mean, the possibilities are really endless.
Exactly. And it's not just about, acquiring new skills. It's about keeping your mind sharp, staying engaged with the world, and, and just continuing to grow as a person.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of research out there that shows that lifelong learning is incredibly beneficial for both your mental and physical health.
Right. It's like anything else, you use it or you lose it. And that's true for our brains as well.
So how can ASI specifically help seniors with this, with lifelong learning and personal growth?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is access to information. In the past, if you wanted to learn something new, you had to go to a library, take a class, which can be expensive and time-consuming. But now with AI-powered search engines and online learning platforms, you can literally access any information you want from anywhere in the world.
And it's not just about accessing information. It's about having it presented in a way that's easy to understand and engage with.
Right, exactly. Think about those AI-powered tutors that can personalize your learning experience based on your individual needs and preferences.
That's so cool. It's like having a personal tutor available to you 24/7.
Exactly. And it's not just about, learning facts and figures. It's about exploring your passions and discovering new interests.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think a lot of us get to a certain age where we think, okay, I've done all the things I wanted to do. But the truth is there's always something new to learn and explore.
Absolutely. And with ASI, the barriers to entry are lower than ever before.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those barriers because I know that one of the biggest concerns people have about technology, especially older adults, is that it can be, complicated and intimidating.
Yeah, that's understandable. But I think one of the things that we're seeing with ASI is that it's actually becoming more and more user-friendly. A lot of these new tools are designed with simplicity in mind, voice control, intuitive interfaces, things like that.
So it's not about having to learn a whole new language or become a computer programmer.
Right. It's about the technology meeting you where you are and making it easy for you to use it.
That's great to hear. And I think it's important to emphasize that there are also a lot of resources available to help seniors get comfortable with technology.
Oh, absolutely. There are classes, workshops, online tutorials, even just, your grandkids can help you out.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of your grandkids. They're probably the most tech-savvy people you know.
Exactly. And I think turning it into a learning experience together can be a fun way to connect across generations.
Okay, so we've talked about the positive side of things. But let's be real for a minute. There are also some potential risks and concerns that we need to address when it comes to ASI.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with any powerful technology, there's always the potential for it to be misused or to have unintended consequences.
So what are some of the specific concerns that we should be thinking about?
Well, I think one of the biggest ones is data privacy. As we share more and more information about ourselves online, it's important to make sure that that information is being protected.
Right, and that it's not being used in ways that we don't agree with.
Exactly. And I think that's something that we all need to be more aware of, not just seniors, but everyone.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to be aware of the potential for scams and fraud. There are always going to be people out there who are trying to take advantage of others.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's especially true online, where it can be harder to tell who's legitimate and who's not.
So what can people do to protect themselves?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be informed. Do your research, learn about the common scams and red flags to look out for, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you're not sure about something.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to remember that you're not alone. There are organizations and resources out there that can help you if you do fall victim to a scam.
Exactly. And I think the more we talk about these issues, the better equipped we'll all be to stay safe online.
Okay, so we've talked about data privacy scams. What about the bigger picture concerns about ASI? Like the potential for job displacement or the ethical implications of creating machines that are smarter than humans.
Yeah, those are definitely important issues that we need to be thinking about. But I think it's also important to remember that ASI is still in its early stages of development, and we have a lot of time to shape the way that it's used and integrated into our society.
So it's not just about passively accepting whatever happens. It's about actively participating in the conversation and making sure that our voices are heard.
Exactly. And I think that's something that seniors in particular have a lot to contribute to. You've seen a lot of changes in your lifetime and you have a lot of wisdom and experience to share.
I love that. I mean, I think it's so important to remember that age is not a barrier to innovation and creativity.
Absolutely. In fact, I think it can be an asset. You have a different perspective on things and you're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one crucial aspect of thriving in the ASI era that we haven't touched on yet: health and wellness.
Right. We've talked about AI's potential in healthcare, but there's so much more to explore in terms of how it can help you maintain your physical and mental well-being.
That sounds like a perfect topic for the final part of our deep dive. We'll be back in a moment to explore the exciting ways ASI can help you live a healthier and more vibrant life.
Welcome back, everyone. We've talked about how ASI can revolutionize everything from our homes to our finances, even help us keep learning and growing as we get older. But now let's talk about something that's really vital: our health and well-being.
This is where it really gets exciting. I think, we've all heard about fitness trackers and stuff like that, but ASI takes it to a whole new level. Yeah, the sources we have here are talking about AI-powered systems that can do things like analyze your genetic makeup to predict potential health risks years in advance.
Right, and create personalized exercise and nutrition plans that are tailored specifically to you.
It's like having a personal health coach available 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about prevention, it's also about managing existing conditions more effectively.
So for someone who has a chronic illness like diabetes or heart disease, ASI could help them track their symptoms, adjust their medication dosages, maybe even connect them with specialists remotely.
Absolutely. You can imagine a world where your smartwatch not only monitors your blood sugar levels, but actually communicates directly with your doctor to adjust your insulin pump settings in real time.
Wow, that's incredible.
Or if you have heart issues, an AI system could analyze your electrocardiogram readings and alert your cardiologist to any potential problems before you even experience symptoms.
It's like having a personal guardian angel watching over your health.
Exactly. And it's not just about physical health either. ASI can also play a big role in mental and emotional well-being.
Oh, that's interesting because I think we often think of technology as being kind of isolating. People spending all their time on their phones and not interacting with each other.
Right, but actually ASI can be a really powerful tool for connection and support. There are AI-powered apps that can provide guided meditations, personalized therapy sessions, even companionship for people who are feeling lonely or isolated.
I've heard about those AI companions. They sound pretty amazing.
They are, and they're getting more sophisticated all the time. Some of them are so good at mimicking human interaction that you almost forget you're talking to a machine.
Wow, that's kind of mind-blowing.
It is, and for seniors who are living alone or maybe don't have a lot of social interaction, it can be a real lifeline.
It's like having a friend who's always there for you.
Exactly. And they can also be really helpful in managing things like anxiety and depression. They can track your mood, provide you with coping mechanisms, and even alert your therapist if they detect any concerning patterns.
So it's like having a personal mental health assistant as well.
Right, and I think that's one of the most exciting things about ASI. It has the potential to revolutionize not just our physical health, but our mental and emotional well-being as well.
But like with anything, there are always potential downsides that we need to be aware of, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest one is probably over-reliance on technology. We don't want to become so dependent on these systems that we lose the ability to think for ourselves or to connect with other humans in a meaningful way.
That's a good point. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
Using technology as a tool to enhance our lives, but not letting it take over.
Right. And I think it's also important to be aware of the potential for data privacy breaches. As we share more and more personal health information with these systems, we need to make sure that that data is being protected and used responsibly.
So it's about being informed consumers doing our research, asking questions.
Exactly. And not just blindly trusting any company that comes along with a shiny new health gadget.
So the key takeaway here is to approach ASI in healthcare with a sense of informed curiosity and maybe a healthy dose of skepticism.
Absolutely. Embrace the possibilities, but also do your research, ask questions, and be an active participant in your own healthcare journey.
Well said, and I think that's a great note to end on. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, and I hope our listeners are feeling as excited about the future of ASI as we are.
Me too. It's an incredible time to be alive, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
To all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this journey. And remember, the future is yours to shape. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep thriving.